J-Man. I am Jason, defender of geekdom. My true calling in life was revealed to me the day I had discovered YouTube. I have the power! I became J-Man, the most powerful geek in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. My friends Steven, Owen, and Sean. Together, we defend geekdom from the evil forces of social media. J-Man. Hey everybody, welcome to the Phantom Zone. Today we're going to be talking about some wrestling. Of course, that is what we do every Tuesday, unless there's an earthquake, tornado, and even then we'll probably still do it because we're in Canada and we never get any disasters, except for when internet goes out. Then we can't do shit. But before we get to that, just a couple of quick show things. This Thursday, we're back, Sean and I, talking 90s comics. We're going to talk about the releases that happened in December of 1990. So December 1990 comic book releases. Sean and I are going to go through all of those. And then we're going to be in 1991. That's going to be awesome. This Saturday, the Phantom Zone is going to return again. We're going to talk about a little bit about Prey. We're going to talk about Batgirl being canceled, the future of the DCU, future of Snyderverse, all that kind of stuff. Open mic as usual on Saturday nights. And then next week, we'll be back again Tuesday doing the weekly wrestling talk. And Wednesday, we're going to be doing a live stream on the Action Elite. The link to their website and their channel is in the description of this video and all my other videos. So check them out. We're going to be ranking the Predator movies from our personal best to our personal worst. We're including the AVP movie. So basically any movie that had a Predator in it will be discussed. We'll probably discuss Prey a little bit more. My review for Prey is posted on my channel, so check that out. And let me know your thoughts on it as well. Okay. So, before I continue on, let's bring in my host. Hey. All right, we're getting ready. We got a lot. There's actually a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
And some weird stuff too with the store, the WWE shop, which we'll get to at the very end. Let me make a note here. And then we're going to do our space review on the Marine Part 6, Close Quarters, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
And I'll explain how that works when we get to it. And then if there's time at the end of that, we'll take a look at the WWE shop and see that there's been some changes. Okay. So what do we got? I guess the first thing to talk about is going to be August 5th, Smackdown. So Smackdown, there's actually I've got a lot of notes this week on stuff. The Triple H takeover, or whatever you want to call it, has really yield a lot of great things. Man, if Becky Lynch was in this would have been the best, because I'm trying to even figure out, we're going to talk about the tag team tournament as well. That's going to be coming. Let me get my overlay for that. So I've got that set up that we can kind of talk about and see where we're at with that. Now I'm thinking our Raw, how much? Okay, so we've got not next week, but the week after is our Raw.
So we're going to get Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Because we know Alexa and Asuka are beating Nikki ASH and Doudrop.
Yeah, so I was looking at this last night, and I'm like, we got the perfect we actually, because the other side's the SmackDown roster, right?
Yep. And NXT.
And NXT. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nikita Lyons
with
and Zoe
Nikita
Stark are
Lyons.
NXT.
Yeah, Nikita Lyons. Her name is coming up a lot in my Facebook groups, so she's really building up momentum. Raquel and Aaliyah. That's an interesting team.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man. I am a little bit disappointed that they didn't do Aaliyah and Shotzi. That was what I was really hoping for because I just loved the idea of them being a tag team. I don't know why. I just love the idea of Shotzi and Aaliyah being a tag team.
Yeah,
I don't think Raquel needs someone. I think Raquel should have been entered in the tag team tournament as a singles wrestler.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Yeah, Raquel's on her own and she like beats people. Well, Nikita Lyons is pretty huge. And
yeah,
Zoe Stark. So I'm assuming that, I mean, are we going to say that Natty and Sonya are going to beat them, or are they pushing these two?
That's the hardest one because I can tell you Raquel and Aaliyah are going over Zealy and Shotzi.
Thanks, Charlie. We appreciate it.
Hey, Charlie.
So we got links to you. Oh, what am I doing here? I'm pressing too many things. Let me get back to my. Let me remove my so we can see. You can see us. Hello. So give me back my action/horror movies. If you're watching this after the fact, which we got a shit ton of views after the fact this time around, check out Charlie's podcast and Facebook group. The Facebook group links are in the description of this video and all my other videos. And their main thing is a podcast, but check out the Facebook groups, and then you can get the links through all of that. And that'll be the best way to reach those guys. Plus, Charlie will be on the Predator ranking stream that'll take place next Wednesday, where we rank all the Predator films, all 7 Predator films, of which 2 are good and the others are like up and down. But you're gonna see where my ranking is, and I'm gonna be fighting. I already know. I've already foreseen the future. That I'm going to be fighting everybody.
Too. I know exactly why you what your ranking will be.
And you know what my ranking is going to be, and it's not going to be the ranking that everybody wants it to be.
Nope.
And I'm going to be fighting. I think I might be fighting. Well, Sean has threatened to come on this stream, so I'm very excited for Sean to show his face on there. But I don't know if I'll be fighting Sean, but I'll definitely be fighting everybody else. This is anytime we do these franchise rankings, I'm never on board with everybody. Like it's like the Indiana Jones, the friggin' Alien. It's like whatever it is. Even James Bond. It's like On Her Majesty's Secret Service is my favorite. I also love Friday the 13th Part 5. It's okay.
How did you start off the John Carpenter stream? Oh, my number 5 is Halloween, and I'm like, yeah,
right. Everyone's, what? Yeah, you're like, yeah, I know. Owen's like, what the heck? It's like, so the worst John Carpenter film, Halloween. What? Look, it's number 5.
Yeah,
it's not number 15, right? It's like, what do you want? I got the goddamn. I had the Michael Myers full costume. If it bleeds, Jim can kill it. Yeah. That's from Conan. I know Predator 1 stole that line from Mr. Robert E. Howard, which I think that's the first time. I don't know exactly if Robert E. Howard wrote that in one of his stories. I have his complete Conan collection and Call and Brand McMorn and Solomon Kane. I don't have his other collections. I'm working on it, but I definitely know that that's a Conan thing. So I don't know if Predator I think Predator copied that. But okay. So thanks, Charlie, for popping in and giving a shout out. Okay, so we'll get to the tag team thing. Oh, let's continue the tag team thing since we're already on it. Yeah. Okay, well, Tamina and Dana Brooke, we knew they were going to lose.
Yeah.
To Io Sky and Dakota Kai, and what that took place on Raw. So you know what? Since that was the first match, why don't we wait till we get to Raw? And we'll talk about it naturally because that'll be a match we got to talk about anyways. Let's talk about SmackDown. There's actually a lot of stuff on SmackDown. Okay, so Liv came out, only person to ever beat Ronda twice, which is interesting. That was a good factoid. And I don't understand these fans.
I was thinking of Joe. I was like, they can kick rocks. I was like, can I eject the fans? Because they're like, oh, Ronda and you tapped out. I'm like, what are you talking about? First of all, yeah, she did tap out. And Liv swore at the crowd. Liv swore at the crowd. Now, I was swearing at the crowd, but I also was not there.
Yeah. She basically, like, what did she say? I couldn't tell what she said. I was actually writing notes when it happened.
I couldn't tell either. But she said a long thing because it was like for a while.
It was a couple of beeps or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. She just says, like, thanks for calling my shit out or something or whatever, right? Yeah, so they bleeped out. I think they bleeped out shit. So she's there talking, and I don't understand the fans. They want Liv to win it, and then they don't want her to have it. Well, what do you want? Like, in order for her to, like, the thing is that, like, unlike my rating system where I put the Star Wars trilogy as one movie, it's like, you can't cheat. You can't have 3 champions. There can't be 3 SmackDown women's champions. Like, well, I want Liv to have a belt, but, well, Ronda shouldn't just lose. Like, someone has to lose and someone has to win. And
they did it in the most believable way.
I know. I've been fighting with people on Facebook.
But they couldn't see. The ref didn't see the tap because of where the hand was placed. So he counted out Ronda because her shoulders were on the ground. Now
Right.
Ronda flipped out. Fine. Everything that happened in that match was correct if you want Liv to be the champion. Otherwise, it's just Ronda destroying Liv, and what's the point of that? This is where I don't understand what the fans are talking about. Like, this was a bad crowd. I was like, no, throw out the fans. Let's go back to the empty arena. If this is how it's going to be. I was one of the few people during the pandemic who was happy about the empty arena. I didn't have to hear what chants all night long.
Yeah.
I didn't have people being booed for no frigging reason or cheered for no frigging reason.
Bye, fans.
Exactly. I didn't see a beach ball getting inflated and bounced around a lot. Like, I'm always the guy who's like, throw the crowd out. Yeah.
You can't win.
Exactly, Double C.
Hey,
it was just.
Thanks for coming.
We're going to have trouble at our Raw. I can tell you that. We're going to have to bite some tongues.
Oh, dude, we're sitting when we get to Raw right where that massive fight was.
Yes.
Like, there's a guy, I'm like, oh my God, that's us right there where that massive brawl was.
Yes. Yeah. I was really like, the fans really disappointed me on this one, man. Like, I disagree with booing Liv, saying you tapped out and chanting for Ronda. That's not where the story leads, and that's not what you wanted. If Ronda got the belt, the internet would have exploded.
Right.
So I'm lost. I don't get what those fans were doing. And I was glad to hear Liv Morgan chant start later after all that.
Yeah.
Oh, and P.S. guys, in case anyone's wondering, I will not be participating in any what chants.
We will not be doing what. That's guaranteed. No. Okay, so, well, Sonya Deville came out, and it's like, Adam Pearce sucks. I love the Adam Pearce.
Yeah, if Adam Pearce was doing his job.
Oh, that's so funny.
Adam Pearce takes such heat. It's crazy.
It is funny. So now we had this kind of interesting little gauntlet tournament here.
Yeah.
Sonya Deville versus Aaliyah in round 1. I'm glad Sonya Deville won.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because I want her to become more something like Aaliyah's cute, whatever. She comes in, oh, I'm all cute. It's like, okay, but you know what? Like, you had your 3-second thing. That's cool. And now Sonya needs to win because she's been around longer. Sonya Deville versus Raquel. Look, well, Sonya Deville versus Raquel, when Sonya Deville has not been beaten up, should be Raquel anyways. So that was an obvious win. Then Raquel beat Shotzi, which is believable because Sonya Deville was already weakened from the previous match. and Raquel is stronger anyways, so that kind of made sense. Raquel kind of pulls it out to beat Shotzi. Aaliyah's too new to win over Raquel and not as good. And then Raquel beat Natalya. Now here's where it started to get a bit crazy. It's like, because you were in many matches, she still kind of beats.
Yeah, but that was a desperation one. That, you know what that was? That was the Survivor Series where Bam Bam Bigelow was on Hulk Hogan's team and he beat the one-man gang with his headbutt, and then he was dead for like 10 minutes afterwards, and he lost to the last guy.
Right.
That was what that was.
Yeah.
Right? That was Bam Bam Bigelow taking on King Kong Bundy and one-man gang and then being left for Andre Giant. It's like, yeah, it's over. It's, there's nothing left.
Yeah. And then Shayna wins. I'm okay with that.
I think this was okay. So I was going through the possibilities.
Right.
Because Sonya Deville came out first, she can't win. If Sonya Deville beats Raquel Rodriguez after not beating anyone for like a year, that's crazy.
Right.
Beating Aaliyah is fine. Losing to Raquel is fine. Raquel then beats Shotzi. That's fine. But you see, she kept taking hits. Everyone got in a little offense and wore her down a bit. Zia Lee gave her some kicks. Okay, Zia Lee's like 5 foot, and Raquel Rodriguez is 6 foot. So Zia Lee's not winning. I'm sorry. But then Natalya comes out. I'm like, oh, here's someone who really does get offense in, and she got in a lot of offense. And Raquel barely pulled that one out. And I'm like, she's got nothing left. And then Shayna Baszler. I'm sitting there saying, if you want to turn Liv heel, you have her versus Raquel. Because then she's got to figure out a devious way of getting past Raquel. Now, WWE is not trying to turn Liv heel.
Yeah, so Shayna has to win.
So she goes against Shayna Baszler. Now, that doesn't surprise me for 2 reasons. First of all, Shayna Baszler was an unstoppable force in NXT. Triple H is running WWE right now. He's pumping up the NXT guys. So Shayna Baszler is not going to lose as much as she has in the past because Vince had no use for the NXT guys for absolutely no reason.
Right.
Second of all, you now run the storyline of Shayna Baszler saying, Ronda Rousey's my friend in real life. You screwed her over. Now I'm going to get revenge and get the title off you, which is smart. So overall, this was really smart.
Guaranteed. Triple H has come in here and it's like, what happened? Like the first pay-per-view, I pre-ordered SummerSlam today on DVD. I'm like, yeah, because it doesn't come, you don't get Blu-rays for those. It's like, this is crazy. It's like he came in and it's like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So right away we felt the changes. So yeah, that pretty much concluded. And then they introduced this tag thing, which we'll talk about when we get to the match. Okay. So before we continue into Raw, it is Alexa Bliss's birthday today. She was born in 1991. So she's 31 years old, 31 years old today. So happy birthday. We're not going to sing the song. That's your birthday present. The birthday present to Alexa Bliss is that we're not going to sing happy birthday to her. So we're going to talk about Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans and a couple of other things. I don't know, my phone is blowing up here. Give me a second. Okay, I don't know what's going on. This is random crap. So anyway, my birthday's next week. So my mom and my cousin are planning all this stuff. I'm like, I can't make it that day. Like, there's 9 messages, 10. Oh, I'm like, no. Stop planning my birthday. I'm 45. I'll be 45. I'm not. I can't show up to these dates like that you're giving me. It's like I've got.
You got to show up Saturday. Sunday?
It's like, no, I can't do this Saturday. No, I can't do this Sunday. It's like next week. No, I'm going to Raw. Right? It's like, no, I'm not coming on Sunday. We're going to wrestling on Monday. It's like, no, I can't come the day after wrestling. It's like, stop it. All right. So anyways, happy birthday to Alexa Bliss.
Happy birthday.
We're going to be seeing you in 2 Mondays. So we're going to be excited about that. our Raw is going to be awesome. I'll tell you that much.
Edge versus Damian Priest.
Yeah,
Dude,
Edge is returning. Yeah. Happy birthday to the goddess, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess she's back
the
to
goddess, man.
So yeah, that's good. Our Raw is gonna be crazy. So we're gonna get tons of pictures. Anyways, okay, so that was it for SmackDown. I mean, I liked that entire kind of thing, so I was okay with SmackDown.
It was really booked well. I was shocked how well, because I've been watching so much of Vince is crazy WWE. Now that it's like being run well, I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do.
I know, it's so obvious.
I'm like, this is like, even with the men, like the Rock, Owen shows up and destroys Ezekiel, and he walks out. He's like, "Oh, things have changed now." Well, I want to remind you, this is still the KO show. I'm like, Kevin Owens is my hero. I don't know. I hope he's.
Well,
on
he's
Raw.
gonna be he's gonna be on our thing on Monday. He's gonna be gonna be there. I forgot who they said he's fighting.
Yeah, I don't. Riddle.
I don't remember, but he's definitely at our Raw.
Right.
He's Canadian, right? So he'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get on to Raw. This was last night's Raw. Okay, I gotta friggin' tell you, I made a note of this. The intro had the best editing ever. I'm like, they need to where they did the editing for SummerSlam and like what was going on. I was like,
yeah,
whoa, it was like all the hits. It was like, you ever see? I don't watch sports. I don't watch sports, but when I do, I watch. But when I do, if I do, I watch the baseball in 30.
Oh God, yeah.
Where it's like it's the entire 9 innings in 30 minutes, and it's just like hit, run, strike, hit, strike, you're out. Next guy, hit, strike, out, strike, run, ball, hit, strike, out. Next team, strike, hit, home run. Yeah, and I'm like, this is the best baseball ever. It's like that's the action. Because I've been to baseball. I know you like baseball, right? Or do you not?
I love baseball.
You like baseball, yeah. It's like if you're at the game, it's kind of fun because you're there or whatever.
Yeah.
When you're watching at home, like goddamn, like it's like cricket. My wife used to watch cricket. It's like these matches are 10 hours. It's like what is happening here? So it's like this baseball in 30 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. You get all the action in 3 hours. 30 minutes of action in a 3 hour.
Well, that's what's So I was like, this was like SummerSlam in 3 minutes or whatever. It's like,
yeah, it was good.
Like, boom, Becky hits. Yeah. Boom, Bianca hits. Boom, hit, drop. Well, you're like, I can't follow what's going on. It's like you retains the championship. I'm like, this is crazy. And it's like, and then Bayley comes in, like, oh my god. I was like, that entire match was like 1 minute. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like,
and then Bayley comes out with her 2 people and face off, and then Becky's here.
So I just want to say kudos to the editing team on Raw, man. Okay, so Bayley came out, lots of stuff here. Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai came out. They're making fun of the fans. It's
Bayley screwed up Dakota Kai and said Dakota Sky.
Okay, Bayley is not alone. I'm like, and then for some reason, Sky High, the movie came into my mind. So I'm like, wait, Sky High? I'm like, no, that's a movie with Kurt Russell. I'm like, that's not. I'm like, it's Io Sky and Dakota Kai, and I'm just and Bayley must be thinking I didn't notice she screwed up.
Yeah, I noticed.
No, I know she screwed up because she's like, oh, I screwed up the names. And I was like, but I didn't notice it for a second either. I'm like, wait a minute. Right, did you say this wrong? And I was writing notes at the time. I'm like, wait, that was the wrong name, I think she said.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah. Maybe she didn't say, like, I questioned myself. Like a lot of people were like, oh, like, okay, so she effed up. But it's like one of those things where I'm like, I'm not 100% sure you effed up, so I'm just gonna not say anything. I think that was wrong, but I might be wrong, so I don't know. Somebody's wrong. It's either you or me. So, and I'll just keep my mouth shut. And then the crowd confirmed that, okay, yeah, she was wrong.
Yeah, I knew she screwed up right away, and then she admitted it, which was was good.
Which was funny.
This was a nice, like Kevin Owens slipped on his way into the ring. I thought he was going to take a header. I was like, what happened? Is there a banana peel there?
I mean, like, that was, I mean, what are you going to do? So she made fun of the fans, which is funny. She's like, I want the women to be hungry and, and all that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Bailey's great at promos.
She actually was very good, except for that scoop. But what are you going to do? But like, she was good on that. Like, that was awesome. And she said a lot of stuff that's true too, right? And I'm glad that Dakota Kai, DK, I'm glad that DK said, I kind of backed her up, saying, it doesn't matter. So I'll tell you about, she kind of like took over a little bit there. So that was it always throws me because I always get thrown by the accent when someone who I don't know who Dakota Kai is. And it's like, she starts talking with the accent. I was like, oh, like she has an accent. And I'm like, okay.
She's from New Zealand.
So that instantaneously made her cooler.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But, and then Alexa came out, Asuka came out, Bianca came out. And I like how it's like, she's like, was it Alexa was like, you won't win or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, don't worry, it's fine. You won't win, so it's fine. And it's like, let's do 3-on-3 at Clash at the Castle. I'm like, yeah, do it. Sounds good to me.
And then they had a massive brawl. Alexa Bliss jumped into the stands and gave a crossbody to the entire building.
Yep, and that's where I was like, oh my God, we'd be sitting right there for all that. That'd be happening at our.
We could get.
So yes, because of the way that was shot, it was very well filmed yesterday. The way that was shot too. I'm actually like Becky's not going to be there, so it's super disappointing. But we're really close. Like I did the perception of it on TV is weird because of the lenses they're using. It's not that it's like a wide angle or anything, but it just feels like the perspective is like they're so close. But actually, when they had the cameras the other way, I'm like, my God, the ring is right there. Mm-hmm. Like we're like, I don't know how many feet away, but it's measurable in feet. Right. It's like there's like a foot or two between the post and the first seat, and we're the third seat. So that's like we're like 5 feet, let's say 6 feet from the barrier, and then whatever is in the middle of the barrier in the ring, which is
maybe
how much
12 feet.
Yeah,
15 feet. Yeah.
Like it's like right. So it's like oh they're right there. I don't think you can get the first 2 rows. I've been looking it up a little bit more. I think it's all reserved for whoever. Like we got the only seat that you could possibly buy. And someone in the Facebook group was questioning and getting upset over the seating. It's like, oh, we don't get meet and greets in Canada and blah, blah, blah. So I corrected them that we do. Mm-hmm. We just don't get Smackdown or Raw, no live events. But they're definitely the Kingston one. They're definitely in the London one. So when that comes around again, we can do the London one. And the London one, I mean, we would do the VIP, but London one, like even the ringside, I saw second row for $130 because it's in London. Mm-hmm. So that's a no-brainer. We can do that more often. If it's just going to be that, like we could do VIP. We'll see how much VIP is, because even if VIP is like $300 or $400, I'm like, and I would be super willing to do that, because like Fan Expo to me is dead. I used to spend $600 or $700 on Fan Expo. My wife and I go together, so that's double the money. And I'm like, I'd rather just pay wrestling, get ringside seats, meet the wrestlers. It's all included. Yeah. Even if I meet 3 people that I pretty much like everybody on Raw right now, I would be okay with meeting anybody.
Yep.
Even in SmackDown, if they mix, because the house shows will mix the rosters, I would be okay with that. Like I'd be totally okay if it was Raquel Rodriguez or something.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome. So, okay. And then Rhea Ripley, I wrote this because we had unfortunately our Best Buy employee won't be at Best Buy today because he got
beat up by a girl.
Oh man. You know what I thought was going to happen? I said this, my wife literally pays zero attention to what's going on the screen. She just plays her manga or plays her game. So I asked her, I was like, well, while I was watching, I was like, oh. I said, what if this is fake? What if she didn't beat him up and he's faking being beat up?
That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, to like, right. So I said that to her. I'm like, oh, it's all fake or whatever. He wasn't really beat up or something. And then my wife's like, okay. I said, I'm only telling you this in case if it's real, just so I have a witness to say that. She's like, okay, but she'll probably forget.
I had the same reaction.
Yeah, because it's just so weird now. Like Dominic's going nowhere.
Dominic is going nowhere. He's just it's just terrible now. And then he just got beat up and he just got dumped on his ass by a very strong woman, but a woman. Like I Judgment Day needs to do better things. Like just move on from the Mysterios, man. Like this is going nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, literally, Judgment Day is selling hot dogs at the stand now.
Yeah.
Here's your hot dog. Join the Judgment Day. Like
the only other thing I thought of is now that Vince McMahon's gone, that supernatural thing that Edge did not like is gone. Maybe Edge comes back and says, I'll be in the Judgment Day, but let me be a devious bastard and make the Mysterios think I'm on their side.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking too.
Yeah. Sorry, Dom, not feeling it.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy because I like Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio is like the jobber of jobbers.
Now he is.
Yeah. I just realized, give me 1 second. Let me get my light on. I forgot to turn my light on. Hold on.
Oh, dear. It would have been
dating in the dark.
It would have been dating in the dark.
Oh, dear. Don't talk about that rubbish show where they're like, there wasn't enough diversity or whatever it was.
Was it?
That show that, there was a big thing on that. They were saying it wasn't diverse enough. And I'm like, I want to. Or it was the blind date or something.
Okay.
Blind dating where you don't see the person and you see them afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's TV, so they're all going to be half decent looking.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not like the lights are going to go on and then it's free. Like the lights go on and it's like Mae Young or something.
Next.
Like, no.
I love Next, man.
What was the I know all there is to know. Like there's no one who's below like a 7 out of 10 on that show, right? So it's not you turn it on and it's gonna be like, like
600-pound woman.
Hello, it's been me you've been dating. Someone's like the lights turn on and it's Michael Moore. He's got like mustard on his face. Anyways, they're saying there wasn't enough diversity. Oh, well, I agree there's not enough diversity because you don't want a bunch of random losers on here.
In demented homeless people.
Don't you still want to date me? Oh my God. All right. Then we have Tamina and Dana. No, what was going on here?
Yeah. Tamina and Dana versus DK and Io Sky.
Io Sky, yes.
I thought it was a good idea to have Tamina and Dana Brooke team up, and they look good as a team. They looked really good as a team. Was it me or was DK and Sky was Sky High? No, was Kai Sky? Were they like, they weren't tagging, they were like holding hands. Yeah.
Like they go like this. Okay, she's tagged. I'm like, that was a weird tag. I'm like, why are you like
Io Sky's
like, it's not this. Like
it wasn't a slap. It was like they were like exchanging vows. I didn't get it, but like I also didn't get Io Sky's strikes because she would go like that, like a big windup, and it's just like that. And I'm like, what is she doing?
I don't know.
It was very weird. It was a very weird. I mean, I know they're pushing Dakota and Io Sky, but I was kind of like, I think Dana and Tamina put in the better performance on this one. I don't know. Io Sky, I love her look. I love how she comes out.
Yeah.
But she's just not striking me as doing the best right now as far as the ring work. I mean, her moonsault was great. Over the moonsault, I love that name.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like her striking moves are kind of weird to me. I don't get it. She's not like she's not a striker. She should just be a exactly. Double C. She does love taps. She's like, I'm like, what is happening?
That's so weird.
It's just bizarre to me. I think Tamina and Dana Brooke, I hope they keep that team together. I really, really liked it a lot. Yeah. I think they complement each other very well.
Yep. Okay.
And we knew they weren't going to win, but like still, it was cool.
All right, so let's bring up the sheet here so we can look at this better. So that brings us to this women's tag team championship tournament. I did hear a rumor that they might get Sasha and Thing back now.
They're coming back. So I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to win, and I literally don't know if Sasha and Naomi are coming back as faces or heels. I don't.
Right.
It's plausible they come back as heels because of what they did.
Right.
But on the what I'm wagering is on the night of the final match, whoever wins, they're going to be in the ring and they're like, yeah, you know, and you're going to hear Sasha's music hit, and Sasha and Naomi are going to come out and challenge whoever won.
Right.
And based on who, there's two things that are going to determine if they're heel or face. One is who won, so that's what WWE intends. And two is how the fans react. Right.
So they're gonna see like what makes better sense there. How's that? Is that better? Yep. Okay. It looks like Rhonda and Raquel are helping us with this.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, so we already had. Okay, so for Raw, this is the SmackDown people,
and NXT.
And then NXT, and then here we have the Raw people. So we already had this happen. Can you see my mouse?
Yep.
Yeah. So Io Sky and Dakota Kai are here.
Yep.
It's obvious Alexa Bliss and Asuka are going to win.
Yep.
So they're going to go here. That means our Raw is going to be these two.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome, man.
That's going to be freaking incredible.
So, I mean, I honestly don't know exactly who's going to win unless you're going to say it's I. Okay, so if the ultimate plan is to have Sasha and Naomi come back, if they're going to be heels, it'll have to be Alexa and Asuka then. Well, okay, hold on. We're getting out of it. Okay, so wait. Let's see the other side. We know these two are going for sure. Raquel and Aaliyah are definitely going to beat Shotzi and Zia, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, Double C. They're going to come back and say we never lost the belt, so they shouldn't be getting the belts.
Right. So there'll be a fight. Okay. So do you agree that Raquel wins this? Raquel and Aaliyah?
Raquel and Aaliyah will beat
Zia, Lee, and Shotzi.
Right. So they'll beat Zia, Lee, and Shotzi. And then
who's going to win here?
It's going to be Zoe and
Nikita Lyons?
Nikita, because they're not going to have those two lose their first match in SmackDown. So they will win.
So then Raquel and Aaliyah versus Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. So who's going to win that one?
Well, you're only as good as your worst. I assume that Lyons and Stark are better than are not as good as Raquel, but they're better than Aaliyah. So I say they go over on Raquel and Aaliyah by beating Aaliyah.
Okay. Then who's in the finals on the other side?
So it's going to be Io Sky and it can't be anyone but Io Sky and Dakota Kai. I think that you have to have them go over Alexa Bliss and Asuka.
All right, so those two win, and then that means those two win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think they beat. I think what happens at the end is Io Sky and like Stark and Lyons make a great push. Maybe there's deviousness from Bayley. I think Dakota Kai and Io Sky, you're pushing the hell out of them right now just by having them there. They can't lose. So they beat Stark and Lyons, and I think the intention is to have Sasha and Naomi come back as faces. You put them on SmackDown, back on SmackDown, but because the tag champs appear on both shows, you can now have Control, Bayley's faction, appear on both shows, which is what you need to happen.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, I'm freaking pumped up for this tournament and the way that they've set this up.
Yeah.
Like the second I saw this screen, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. Because there's a lot of possibilities here. Even if it's guaranteed that it's Sky and Kai winning, you still have a lot of other matches that are not for sure. Like I wouldn't bet my life that, Nikita beats.
Yeah. Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark beat
Raquel,
Natalya and
or even Natalya. Yeah, like I wouldn't say, oh, that's 100%.
Right.
Like the only 100% is Alexa Bliss and Asuka beating Nikki and Dewdrop.
Yeah. And Raquel and Aaliyah being Zia.
Same thing, yeah. But I wouldn't be bet on any other match. I'd be like, I don't know.
I don't think you can possibly have Alexa Bliss and Asuka beat those two for the tag belts.
Because there's no point. They're better on their own.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss, you need to start getting into the singles championship.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Alexa Bliss in a second as well, because there's some changes going down. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. To me, that's the only thing that makes sense.
All right. Where's my other? So I wanted to look at this too for a second, but we'll get to that in a second. So basically, I've heard now that Lacey Evans is getting repackaged again.
Mm-hmm.
They've removed everything from the store. Hey, Arkham, how's it going? Thanks for dropping in. So if you look at the superstars, I don't know how much you can see this, but you'll just have to take my word for it. But there is no Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
And there's no under, like, so Lacey has nothing. She'd be here.
Yep.
And then even if you went by Evans, I don't see it that way because it's all done by first names or whatever they're. So like, look, Io Sky has stuff.
Yeah. Even though it's Io Shirai or Shirai.
Shirai, yeah. So that, and then here's the big one. One of the number one selling items, Lily, is not on here.
They got rid of the doll, and they mentioned it on Raw. I don't think we'll see Lily back.
Yeah,
I think they decided to go ahead with Alexa Bliss as the goddess. All this nonsense that happened when she was with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, is gone. I don't think Triple H is a fan of the supernatural bullshit anymore. I think, like Vince was more the fantasy guy. Yeah, Triple H is not the fantasy guy. It's gone. Yeah. So this is just what it's going to be. It's going to be Twisted Bliss. It's going to be the goddess, which is probably the best version of Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, see, they still have some things. They have like the Lily. So I think what they did was they let it sell out.
Yeah.
And then didn't restock it.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
So, yeah. I think they're done. So once this Lily mask sells out, it's done. They're not going to restock these things. Like none of this here will be this, probably even that.
Yeah.
Because like, look, they don't even have her Funko Pop anymore.
Nope.
Even the one that I bought Becky 2 belts.
Yeah.
Where's Becky?
It's all being repackaged.
Yeah. See, look. Oh no, they still. Oh, they brought her back. This was okay. This was removed. It's back now.
Maybe they restocked it.
They restocked it. Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I can't see Becky 2 belts not being popular. Like Becky Lynch is like.
So see, it's the man. It's back to the man again.
It's back to the man. Yeah.
Big Time still works. Big Time Bex.
Yeah.
So who? I want to just check Bianca Belair. Oh, Macho Man. Oh, I love this shirt.
Macho Man stool.
Where's and even where's Bailey's got stuff. Let's see what Bailey has. Oh,
Yeah,
this
she's
is
got
fun.
role model stuff. Yeah. Ding dong hello. Yeah, that's her catchphrase. Use the door.
I don't. This is so weird. This is very interesting. Okay,
She had a show, and she had a door.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
The door was in the middle of the ring.
Oh, cool.
And people would come in. She's like, use the door.
That is so funny. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, like Cody had way more stuff. They basically changed this entire store.
I'm curious. I'm curious if they have a picture of him with his purple boob.
Yeah, Bianca had a new shirt, I think.
EST.
I think this is. I don't remember seeing this before.
Yeah, there it is. EST.
But Ronda had a version of this as well, but that's gone too. See, they're going to repackage Ronda, I think, too, because she used to have way more. Look, there's nothing. I have this book. It's rubbish. It's a DK book.
Yeah, I've seen that around.
So it's like, is this
Rowdy Ronda Rousey?
This is a youth shirt.
Yeah.
Right? So the only shirt that would be, this is youth. So she has only one men's shirt.
And to be honest with you, all it says is baddest. That could allude to anything.
Right.
I think they will, Joe. I think it's because it's Triple H. Triple H did the women's division in the NXT. He really invigorated it. I think there's going to be a lot more emphasis placed on the women under Triple H than it was under Vince. I think Vince sort of did it as a chagrined, yeah, I'll throw something on there, but he didn't care.
Right. These are nice, these plaques.
Yeah.
Coupon, clip it. There's like so many offers on here. Like it's just crazy. But okay, so yeah. I guess we're pretty much done with what time? What's the time? Because it's been almost an hour. Do you want? I wanted to review the Marine Part 6 because it has Becky in it. So what happened was I had bought. I wanted to buy. Let's do Joe's thing. I don't think that's clear yet. They kind of chanted for her afterwards. Like, to me, Ronda's the heel in this entire situation because she got suspended. She beat up the refs. She got screwed. This is an excuse for her. Steve very early on said that now Shayna is going to take the angle because Shayna's a villain, a heel. Shayna's going to be like, oh, me and Ronda are friends. You freaking went against her and screwed her, so now I'm going to beat you up. That's a great angle. Which one's Lash Legend?
You have to bring him up. Or it's a she. I don't know Lash Legend that well. I've heard the name.
Let's see. What? Oh.
Female. Oh, I think I've seen her. She's a heel. Yeah, she's a heel.
She looks pretty tough.
Yeah. She was doing something and then she just like went nuts.
Oh, she
Yes, she was a basketball player.
Yeah, okay. I don't know anything about sports. Also, this was Nikita Lyons versus
Lash Legends.
Lash Legends. Well, I know. See, Triple H is serious. He's bringing some of these people. He's bringing some of these women in.
The man like Karrion Kross coming back. That was awesome. He's got a great entrance. Scarlett came down. She put the hourglass in the ring to go TikTok. Like his
so I didn't know any of that. So I don't know any of that.
And then he's like TikTok. That was a great intro because when Karrion Kross was brought up to the main roster the first time, they just shat the bed.
How do you spell his name?
Karrion, Karrion. Kross, Kross.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, that was cool.
Like he's like TikTok. That's his wife beside him.
Ah, okay. What's this guy? Is this guy being anything else? He looks like somebody. Has he been in a movie or something?
I have no idea.
Oh, I think I saw him in Lucha Libre. No, Lucha Underground. Yes. Oh my God, I used to watch this. Yes, I used to watch this.
So you probably saw him there.
Yes, I did see him there.
His entrance is awesome, man.
That's so funny. Yeah, Scarlett Bordeaux.
Fall and Pray.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yes, I know him from that. I used to watch that Lucha Libre. All right. So what happened was that since Becky Lynch is in the Marine Part 6 with The Miz and Shawn Michaels, I was like, well, I'll just buy this movie. So what happened was that for some reason I'd had it in my cart before and I'd forgot it was in the cart. So then I added it to the cart again and I bought 2 copies on Blu-ray, but it was only $24. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't notice the price. And then I got 2 copies. I'm like, I didn't order 2 copies. And I'm like, oh, I did because they're only $12 each. So I was like, well, I'll give one to Steve. And I was like, well, I gave one to Steve. May as well review it because it's a wrestling thing. Why not? Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No, to the bald look. Oh, you like the bald version? But I mean, I haven't seen him. Like I don't remember him. So to me, I'm like, I was okay with.
I was okay with the hair, like how he did the hair. Like I've seen both versions. He's good. I think he'll be good either way, to be honest with you, as long as he's done right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So I thought let's review it. So we're gonna review it. I've not talked to Steve about it at all, so I don't know what he's at. And I haven't really done my space on it. So we're going to do space. Space stands for story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. That's my review technique that I developed like ages ago. So the story, each category gets a score out of 2. So 0 is bad, 1 is okay, 2 is really good. And so if every category got a 1, you'd have a 5 out of 10 movie. And that means it's average. 5 out of 10 means what it sounds like. It's an average movie. It was okay. You can watch it, whatever. Now, story is setting, plot, conflict, resolution. Pacing, I usually go beginning, middle, end. Would I cut anything, right? Artistry is look and sound. So anything to do with like the action, cinematography, the music, costuming, anything like that. Characters are the characters. Do you like the characters? Do you hate them? Like are the villains good? Are the heroes good? Do you like the villains? Do you like the heroes? So you look at the heroes, the villains, and then the supporting heroes and the supporting villains. And then do you like all the characters? And then enjoyment, I go by 4 things: Did I like the movie? Yes or no? Easy. It's easy question. Did you like it? Yes. Would you watch it again? Yes or no? Very easy. Yes or no? Would you recommend it to a friend to watch? Yes or no? Would you buy it? Yes or no? And then I just do 0.5 for each one of those. I liked it, 0.5. You know, yeah, I liked it, and I'd watch that again. That's a 1 out of 2. You know, it's like, would I tell someone else? Because now I'm putting my name on it, right? Saying, would I say, oh, I recommend it? That's 1.5. Would I buy it? Yeah. Now, if you wouldn't recommend it, but you buy it for yourself, you give it a 1.5. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sometimes a movie gets a 1 because I liked it and I bought it, but I probably won't recommend. Like, I'm not going to recommend Hellraiser 5.
Right.
But I liked it and I bought it and I would watch it again. So that's 1.5. It's like, well, you're saying it's 1.5, right? For me personally, because I like Hellraiser. So,
yeah,
you know, but I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. So versus like a movie like, you know, like friggin' Batman or something, right?
Well, even Hellraiser 1 and 2, which are
Hellraiser 1, I would, and 2, I would recommend. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I missed some comments here. Karen Cross, I saw that mentioned on the site. So I'm gonna take a look at that, his entrance or whatever. So this is Marine 6. So I saw Marine Part 1 in the theater and didn't see any of the other ones. The second Marine was Ted DiBiase Jr., and then the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th were The Miz. And Shawn Michaels is only in this one, and Becky Lynch is the villain in this one. So for the story, setting, setting, plot, conflict resolution, that kind of thing, what would you give the story out of 2?
1.5.
1.5. So why would you give it 1.5?
So if it's going to get a 1,
yeah,
and then the twist happened,
right? So we could do spoilers. I mean, right. Do we do sport? Like, you guys don't care, right? They're like Joe and thing. I mean, no, we could do spoilers. Let's just do spoilers. It's not the big deal.
I don't think these guys are running out to see this movie for some reason. Well, they might now. Yeah, the big twist is the Miz gets killed.
Yeah, I'm stunned.
And not at the end.
Right.
Like about 10 minutes before the end. Like,
yeah.
I was floored because all the way through the movie, I was like, Shawn Michaels is getting killed. Like there was plenty of times where I'm like, oh yeah, here it happens.
And they teased it. I gave it a 1.5 as well, but I just wanted to hear I also give it a 1.5. Yeah. But
yeah. I thought like it was okay. Like I followed him like, yeah, you know, this is plausible, threatening the dad and all that. They kidnap her. They don't want to go back to a lair, so they go to some random, you know,
an uninhabited building, right?
You know, like, okay, yeah, and I'm following, like, yeah, they're after, you know, for a while, and then they walk the doors. I'm like, yeah, this is all good. And then it's like, wait a second, why is he talking about, hey, you remember this time, like last? Yeah, he got killed.
He gets killed. This is his series.
And he got killed.
Yeah, and Shawn Michaels wins in the end. And I thought maybe Shawn Michaels will continue it on or something as the Marine going forward, or whatever.
But no, this is the last one in this series.
The last one they said, yeah.
So I thought that was gutsy, and I usually do not like giving points for twists because they're gimmicky, but this one felt natural, and it worked. And I was already left at the end like, what's going to happen? Like I knew it was going to happen, but I'm like, how's this going to work now? Because I've been sort of looking at Shawn Michaels throughout the entire movie as like the jokey sidekick. Now he's got a TCB.
Right.
Like, how's this going to work?
Yeah. So I gave it. So again, and I want to just let everybody know too, if you're watching this later on, when we're saying 1.5 out of 2, we're not comparing the Marine 6 to like Usual Suspects, which, because you'd say Usual Suspects is a 2 out of 2 for story, right?
Right.
So obviously the Marine 6 is not to the level of the story of the Usual Suspects, but that's not what we're comparing it to. Right. The Marine 6 is being compared to other Marine movies in the series, plus other WWE produced films, plus low budget action movies. The space review method is to rank movies against themselves and against others of their kind, not to compare Lawrence of Arabia with Army of Darkness and say, well, obviously this is better. That's a very snobbish attitude. That is not what this movie is going for. This is the Marine Part 6, and in a Part 6 setting, killing off the star with there's still a last 15 minutes or whatever left or whatever it was. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's unexpected, and it's not a gimmicky twist. It's like, whoa, like that was crazy. They're like, they killed him, and then they had this big montage at the end of all of his, and then I felt bad. Now I'm like, I gotta watch these other movies now.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, now I gotta check out the other ones because it looks like he was a great guy through the entire thing.
I know that. So I said we saw Marine Part 1. Never watched any of them again. I'm like, oh, I don't care. And then I'm like, oh my god, I like this character so much, which we'll get to. So yeah. Every movie is a promise, is what I always say as like a thing. Like the Marine 6 is promising you, action and funny moments and some fights and stuff. How well does it deliver on the promise that it's giving you? So I also gave it a 1.5. It's a generic story, so it would be a 1. It's a 1 out of 2 as a generic story, but because of that twist, and now it almost felt like, whoa, like this movie has like changed so dramatically, so quickly in this 1 second that I'm like, I can't believe it. Now it's like a serious, you're like, oh shit. So I really like that a lot. All right. So for pacing, the pacing would be sort of divide the movie in your 3-act structure or 2-act, depending on what the kind of movie it is. Usually I look at the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I'm like, did it take too slow to get going? Was the middle dragging? Was the ending taking forever? Like, can you edit this movie down? So what would you have given that between 0 and 2?
1.5.
1.5. Yep. Okay. So how come 1.5?
So first of all, guys, this is an 85-minute movie.
Right.
So I'm not going to, I'm not going to go at lengths like I did like for the Batman, where I'm like, why the hell is this thing 3 hours? Right. They did pace it well. The reason it was well paced throughout, the reason it gets 1.5 is when they go to the cave, it almost turned into the building part 2. And it lost me just a bit in the caves. Because I'm like, they're just on the run again. It's just they're in the caves now instead of the building. Like, it would have been better if they had flipped it and had them start trapping them in the caves, because they're like, listen, we don't know the building, but now we're going back to our marine roots. We know more terrain here, like, because, Portland's our area. We're good to now hunt you a bit. Like, I would have preferred that, but they ended up almost in a similar situation. And I'm kind of like, if you're going to change locales, switch it up a bit, because now it started to feel very redundant. And that's why I gave it 1.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on 1.5 also, sort of the same reason. I would have liked to have maybe either then, if you're, as you said, if you switch locations, give me something new to worry about, because now all you've done is presented the same thing in a different setting. It's like, well, so it's not the pacing in the sense of like, sometimes the pacing, it's like, well, it's only 85 minutes, so it's fast. Like, I mean, I'm not bored. It's like the movie's over. You're like, well, that was fast.
Yeah.
It's more like, because it's just a repetitive thing, the pacing, it felt longer than 85 minutes. Yeah. It felt like almost 100 minutes, but it was only 85. And that's because it's like, we already saw it. The beginning is good. Yeah. You introduce all your characters. You introduce Becky Lynch, her faction. You got everyone's faction. You got the relationships, and you got the setting. The building was all fixed up. You're like, okay, now I know where the building is. I know what's happening. They're going to be trapped in here or whatever. And then they're running around the building. So it's like The Raid, or like, Die Hard and all these other kind of Dread. So it's like this building thing, Obviously, it's not as good as any of those movies. But, okay, you're like, okay. Yeah, And they went to the caves. I thought, oh, this will be cool in the caves now. But then it was like, again, they're just running around the caves. I'm like, okay. I do applaud the fact that they did switch locations, so it's not just building the whole time.
Yeah.
I think they should have cut, if they were going to keep it the same kind of cat and mouse chasing, I would have trimmed the building part a bit more.
Yeah.
Then it would have felt like you almost got 2 movies out of it.
Movies. Yeah, 2 movies instead of 1. Yeah. No, it because they spent so much time in the building, and then they're going to the caves, I'm kind of like, this is feeling very much the same way. They're just like, hey, we don't want to shoot everything in the building. Maybe we didn't have permits that long, so we just switched it to a different location. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in 2 categories.
So.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Okay, so for the artistry, the artistry is the look, the music, the effects, the fighting, the cinematography, locations, all that kind of stuff. What did you give that?
I'm giving it a 1.
Right.
They seem to really either enjoy the fact that they got that location, or they realized they wanted to get up to 85 minutes.
Yep.
And whatever reason, they kept showing the building, like they kept doing helicopter shots. Maybe they got a helicopter and they were like, this helicopter cost us $1 million, so we're going to get as many different, because they kept going back and showing the same kind of shot of the building. I'm like,
yeah, they'd pan a different way, and it's like, or they'd come up.
Yeah,
it's like they had a day of aerial shoots.
Yeah,
like, we need to have all of these aerial shots in this movie, because even if it's the same building from different angles, it doesn't matter. We need to get them all.
It doesn't matter. I found the fighting okay. I actually thought it would be slightly better than what I saw, and I thought there'd be more of it.
Right.
You got guys who make their living from action stunt choreography. If you're going to make an action movie with headed by WWE stars, put lots of action in it. There was action in it. It wasn't like there wasn't. But there wasn't as much as I thought there would be, or kind of should have been. Yeah. So, and the music was not particularly memorable. It was a generic action movie soundtrack.
Yep.
The caves were kind of cool. I could at least see everything, so I'll give it that. So I feel 1 is very fair based on what I saw.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 1 as well, only because I would have given it 1.5 because I felt that they were trying a little harder. Yep. But I felt that the Becky fight at the end was not long enough.
No, it wasn't.
And in this case, I hate because I always wanted Becky Lynch when I had first seen her, because I even though I didn't watch wrestling, I watched every WrestleMania. So I liked Becky Lynch from the first time I saw her at whatever the first WrestleMania event I saw her at. And I love Red Sonya, the character, and I thought, they should get this woman to be Red Sonya.
Right.
Like, she'd be awesome as Red Sonya. And because you want a physical person who could do stuff, not Rose McGowan. Like, anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, Becky's awesome. And I felt that in this case, because Shawn Michaels took like that friggin' pipe through the shoulder.
Yeah.
He was beat up and tired. I thought this would be a good opportunity to have the woman have the upper hand for a bit, and it'd be believable, because he's been so injured. Like, this is a missed opportunity to have her kick him around a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she even said, she's like, you thought I'm going to be like some weak woman, you're going to come and beat the crap out of me? It's like, no way. And then she starts fighting, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in characters. But I think that fight could have gone longer.
Yeah.
As you said, I think the fights were good. They were just short of great. They could have been better because of the talent that you had.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think that there's no action. There's lots of action in this movie. There's a lot, but it in the artistry department, it could have been a bit better.
Yeah.
But 1 out of 2, again, I always say this because, when I score a movie 5 or 6 out of 10, people are like, you didn't like it. I'm like, no, a 5 means it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just not getting into that special category.
Right.
And a 1 out of 2 means it's good. It looks okay. It looks like a good movie. It's competent. I could see what was, as you said, I could see what's going on. Even at night, I could tell the fights. It wasn't like Jason Bourne where I literally can't see anything, and it's like, why am I even watching this now? So 1 is a fair score. All right, so for characters, what did you give for the? So the characters would be, we're looking at the heroes, the villains, the supporting heroes, the supporting villains. So I kind of give it like half a point for each thing.
Right.
That's how I do it.
Right. I give it 1.5.
Yep.
I really like The Miz a lot as the Marine. Shawn Michaels was terrific as the secondary character. You know what's hilarious? I was watching the movie and I was kind of like seeing her like, this guy used to be Mr. Boy Toy, that, and now he's just the epitome of the grizzled veteran. He just looks like he's been through hell, right? All the time. Like, that's just Shawn Michaels now. I was shocked by the girl. I thought, now this character is going to be annoying. I'm going to dislike her. She was very useful. She was really good. She was not annoying at all. So I liked her a lot. I love Graham at the beginning, the guy who bought the gun, and he's like flashing it all the time. I thought he was hilarious.
Yep.
The negative is the henchmen were very generic, and there was a couple of really distinctive ones. One guy I thought was common, for one thing.
Right.
But there was a big, tall guy with tattoos. I'm like, this guy's going to be interesting, and he didn't really do anything. And they didn't do enough with Becky Lynch. Becky had a very underdeveloped character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She was gone for noticeable periods of time. Like there's one time she just like wanders in. She's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Go get them," and then she wandered out. And I'm like, at one point I thought, because I knew you told me there was a twist, I thought the twist was Becky was because she didn't seem to be doing anything through the meat of the movie. I thought she was like working with the authorities or something, based on the fact that she just wasn't involved in a lot of the action. And I feel like that was a big missed opportunity, because I did like the character that I saw. Right. I thought she was perfect for the role, but they just didn't do anything with her. And because of that, her character suffered. Like when she's kicking Shawn Michaels' ass at the end, I'm kind of like, well, where was this? You had this opportunity earlier in the movie. So now I'm just sitting there like, why is she kicking Shawn Michaels? I guess she was resting up so she could kick his ass in the third act. Because I'm like, I didn't see this previously. She would kill people, but they're usually like held up by someone else or something, or tied down. So 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so close to 2, because Shawn Michaels and The Miz together in this movie were the awesome. Goddamn best.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I was like,
I know.
And The Miz, I'm like, I really like this guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm gonna take my Marine 6 DVD Blu-ray and be like, you can sign this. I'm like,
wave it around at Raw.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is the like, and then when he died, I was like, no.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, no, don't die. Make part 7. I'm like, I'm gonna go back and buy all these other Marine movies. I'm like, don't do it. Don't kill him now. Well, Becky Lynch needs to be in every scene. Otherwise, she's not being used enough. So, I mean, there's always that. But God, I'm so torn. I want to give it 1.5 because there's not enough Becky Lynch, as you said. But I want to give it 2 because there is some Becky Lynch. I'm giving it a 2. F it.
Okay.
I'm giving it a 2. I don't care. I agree with your points, but I'm still giving it a 2 because I can't. It's illogical, but I don't care.
That's fine.
The thing is, like, okay, I didn't expect to care about anyone but Becky Lynch in this movie.
Right.
And she's gone for large sections. The problem is that I think what happened was this. I think that the filmmakers didn't think that Miz and Shawn Michaels would work so well together that they thought, oh, let's have Becky Lynch do some stuff. Then they realized, like, these two guys are really funny. And as you said, Becky Lynch's character is just mean girl. Like, I'm a bad guy. So there's nothing going on with that character. So they're like, let's just have more with Miz and Shawn Michaels because they're working together.
Well, I actually think it's more practical reason why Becky was in it less is that he kind of did in the shoot, but not to the extent. Like, he had these sandbags fall on him. He's like, oh, like
there's some funny parts when he's falling down that. They're going in that shaft. I'm like, okay, and she slips and falls, and he's like, oh, and he comes on down, and like Shawn Michaels gets like when he fell in that thing went that iron bar went through his shoulder. I'm like, he's like, it doesn't look bad. Is it bad?
He got impaled.
He got impaled. I'm like, and then Miz is like, yeah, it's okay. We'll find you a doctor. You're like, I'm like, I can't, like, what is happening? This is insane. Oh my God. But yeah, so sorry, what were you saying? Yeah, Becky, like,
I think the practical reason is that they couldn't afford to have Becky away from wrestling as long as The Miz and Shawn Michaels is retired. So they could have him as long as they wanted. The Miz is a mid-card guy. He can go away for a while and no one will really notice. If Becky Lynch goes away, your women's division has taken a tremendous hit.
Right. Yeah, so that's a possibility. Yeah, that makes sense. I lost my Ms. thing. Okay, so the last category is enjoyment. The way this works is that you can just give it whatever score you want for whatever reason. If you loved it, just give it a 2 or whatever. I think of it in sections of like, would I buy it? Would I recommend it? Would I watch it again? That kind of a thing. Give a score. So, what are you giving it for your enjoyment of the movie?
1.5.
1.5.
I really enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I didn't love it.
Yep.
Right. I wasn't like at the end, but like it was really good. I was thoroughly enjoyed. It was a very, genuinely breezy 85 minutes. I got pumped up because at one point I did think when they locked all the doors, I thought it was turning into the raid. I'm like, it's the raid. Which tells you what I think of that movie. And like, I know Dredd copied it a bit, but I don't care. That makes Dredd like 10 times better in my opinion. I think it was like the camaraderie between the two main characters really sold a lot of the movie. I think if the threat had been just better, especially because Becky did well what she was given, she just was not given enough, it would have been a 2 for me.
Yeah. I'm giving it 2 because I'm crazy. So your total is 7 out of 10. Mine's 8 out of 10. So we're very close.
Yeah.
Your score is the real score. My score is it's Becky Lynch. So I can't give it lower than 8 just on principle.
Yeah.
So but I think legitimate 7 out of 10 is the real score, which is really high.
Yeah.
My score
really
is
high.
My score is a bit insane. Really, it should be I should be at 7.5, really, because I should give characters 1.5 because that they should have done more. So really 7, like I think 7 is the right score, like in the real world, but in the J-Man world, it's an 8. So we're close.
You can't be wrong with your opinion, right? Like if it's your opinion, you can't be wrong.
Right. But some people can be wrong on their opinions.
Well, some people can be wrong because
I will point that out if
they state their opinion as fact. Right. Which is ridiculous.
Right.
But it's something, I actually saw this post on the Action, I think it was the Action-Flix, I was talking to Owen about it, where it's like, someone gave their opinion on the movie Prey, and someone else said, you're effing wrong. And the guy's like, how can I be wrong? It's my opinion.
Well, I told the guy just today that his opinion was wrong. Just today on Predator 2. And I told him it was wrong. He's like, and he's like, well, I liked Prey better than Predator 2. I said, that's wrong. He goes, it's just my opinion. And so he goes, I can't be wrong. I'm like, no, it's wrong. That's a wrong opinion. And he's like, but it's my opinion. And I'm like, no, but you're wrong. I don't care if that's your opinion.
You are entitled to your wrong opinion.
You can't say your opinion is that the world is flat. That's not.
Yeah, that's true. When it's based on a fact, you can't argue that.
Yeah, the fact is that Predator 2 is better than Prey.
If someone walked into the room and said, I haven't seen Prey, but if someone walked into a room and said Prey is better than Predator 1 or Predator 2, 1, 2, or even Predators.
I like Predators.
If they walk in and they're like, it's better than these, first of all, it can't be better than 1.
Obviously
I highly doubt it's better than 2.
No way.
And you really have to convince me it's better than 3.
I gotta rewatch 3, but
3
I don't think it is better than 3.
3 is genius. There's a part that our Action-Flix friend brings up about Predators that is kind of like, and I'm like, I don't necessarily agree, but I can see why you would think that.
Right.
But like, I think all 3 of those movies are phenomenal. I really enjoy all 3 a ton. And like for you to tell me Prey is better than 2, I'm probably not going to validate that opinion. Sorry.
Yeah, so and me and him were joking around about it too. And I was like, when's the last time we watched Predator 2? But like, just to get back to Marine for a second, because we're going to talk about Predator next Wednesday, so I don't want, and we'll talk about it on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
But Marine 6 was, I bought it because it was Becky Lynch, so I'm like, I'm just going to file it away. I'm just going to put it in my collection, in my wrestling collection, and be like, okay, there you go. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, this was a lot of fun. Like, so I actually watched it before giving you the copy.
Right.
Because I had the 2 copies. I'm like, oh, let me watch this first. So about like, I don't know, 45 minutes in, I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. I'm like, I think I'll give this to Steve because I was going to I could just return it. Like you don't care. I was going to offer it to Owen. Like, but you know what? If I give it to you, then this gives us a chance to review it for the show. And I thought that might make sense.
Yeah.
But then I'm watching, I'm like, this is really, I'm like, I think Steve might really like this. It's like, this is a really
good.
fun movie. And I'm like, you know, it's a movie. It's the problem. Look, it's not even really an 8. It's not an 8 out of 10. It might not even really be a 7 out of 10. The reason why you're giving like 7 and 8 like is high, right? The reason we're so high is that it's a fun movie. It's under an hour and a half. It's light. You got 2 likable characters. They poke each other and kind of make fun of each other a bit, but they're good guys. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trapped in a shitty situation. They're trying to help a kid, right? And they're good guys and they're heroes. And there's no agenda. There's no politics in this. It's like, you know, Becky's a great villain. That's it. It's just a movie. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
You sit down, you watch it. I was eating my freaking shawarma or whatever the hell. You know, I'm watching. I'm like, I'm having a lot of fun right now. More fun than I've had with a lot of other movies that have come out that have tried to push certain things or try to be more than what they are.
Yeah.
This is an entertaining movie that was made to entertain you and promote WWE talent. And it worked because after watching this, I was like, I've liked The Miz a hell of a lot more. I can't believe it. I was so stunned. I'm like, because it's like, oh, it's The Miz. He's the Marine in all these other movies. I'm like, oh, okay. And now I'm like, oh, I got to watch these other Marine movies now. Like, I'm going to get all of them. I'm going to get the whole series of this because I like the John Cena one, actually. And I have that on Blu-ray too. I'm like, oh, but I've got to see all the Marine movies. And they showed this montage at the end. I'm like, I can't believe there's this montage at the end with this character that just got killed. I'm like, he was so good. I can't believe they killed him. I told you there's a twist, and I was so confident. I'm like, because it's dangerous with Steve and I. If you tell us there's a twist, there is a 80% chance that we're going to guess it because now our brain starts to work. Like, I didn't tell you Orphan had a twist, right?
No.
Orphan 2 is in 1 week.
I know.
I cannot freaking wait.
I know. That movie's genius.
I rewatched Orphan again. I love Esther. Isabella Furr or whatever, however you say her name. She's awesome. I can't wait for Orphan. I'm so pumped. Anyways, but I didn't say shit because I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, you might be able to guess this one because I was freaking pumped up when it's like, what? It's like, oh no, Esther's not a child. It's like, oh, spoilers. She's not a child. She's like, she's a grown woman who has that disease where you don't age. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
this is so good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
My God, Joe, sounds like one of those cheesy Michael dude. Oh my God. Okay, I own Avenging Force on VHS and DVD and Blu-ray. I have all 5. He's not in all 5. I have all 5 American Ninja movies. What's the other one that he's in that's good? Viper was the TV show that he was in. I really would like to get that. What were the other big ones? I think Avenging Force to me was like the big one with American Ninja. I think American Ninja 1, 2, and Avenging Force are the ones I like. I love Michael Dudikoff. The first ever, sorry, not the first, it would be the 3rd movie I ever recorded on VHS was American Ninja. The first was the first one was Revenge of the Ninja. The next one was Ninja 3, The Domination. And the 3rd one was American Ninja. I love Michael Dudikoff. He's the best. But yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun movie. And you're like, wow, this was just really enjoyable. So, this is a long one today, guys, but I usually don't like going this long into this because we want to do these quick. So last time we actually got a lot of views after the fact. So I hope it is what it is. If it's an hour and 20 minutes, people can, they can fast forward the parts that they think are boring. But, hold on a second here. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, let's see the Miz, Steven Seagal getting killed. Well, Steven Seagal getting killed in an executive decision was great. I mean, he wasn't the star of a franchise. Like the Miz was in 3, 4, 5, and 6. He's the main lead, and then he gets killed in the third act. Well, the middle of the third act because of the movie's ending. And you're like, I can't believe this guy just got killed. Like I was stunned. Like that, I was more stunned than Bruce Willis as a ghost.
Yeah,
because I was like, well, why would they kill them? I thought Shawn Michaels would die for sure, and they
I
kept
was
teasing.
sure he was dead.
I was like, Shawn Michaels is dying, and then Shawn Michaels didn't die, and then only after he died, I realized that because I had watched the Becky Lynch fight on YouTube. I watched Becky Lynch fight Becky Lynch fight Shawn Michaels on YouTube. So I saw that before I saw the movie, and I didn't piece it together. I'm like, I haven't seen this fight yet. And then I started to think, why would Becky Lynch fight Shawn Michaels if Miz is the main character? And I'm like, oh my God, it's all making sense now. Yeah. Let's see, Steven Seagal was going to... Yeah.
He was. And for Seagal to get killed in a movie...
In any movie...
back then, because like that was crazy. Like Steven Seagal was presented as Sumer. He was hard to kill, literally. So like for him to get killed in that movie was insane.
That was insane. So, executive decision. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
It's Kurt Russell. Yeah. Someone posted a picture on Facebook of Kurt Russell's face, and then the question is, what is your favorite Jeff Bridges movie? I'm like, these don't match.
Because when I think of Jeff Bridges, I think of Kurt Russell.
Yeah, when I think of Jeff Bridges, I think of the actual actor Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I try and we're talking about Jeff Bridges. I try and think of the actual man Jeff Bridges, not like a concept of Jeff Bridges that's someone else. Yeah.
So, all right, we're getting into like pitch. I have no other extra lights except for what's here. So we're almost dead. It's like Nightmare, the board game Nightmare. By the end of this video, it's like dark here. Answer me. Whose turn is it next? All right. Okay, guys. That's going to be it. So hopefully you can join us on Thursday for Sean and I talking about comics. And then Saturday we're going to do the Phantom Zone. So that'll be that we can talk about Prey on that. So that's it, guys. We will see you, if not Thursday or Saturday, a week from today.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.